Good morning, boys and girls. We are going to do our phonics lesson online. This will be kind of fun. We're on lesson 126 so that you'll know where we are today, which worksheets to do to go along with it, where we'll be tomorrow. So let's do chart E, review chart E together. So as I point to the different special sounds, then please say the special sounds with me. And if you don't see a pointer, we're going to start in the cloud with the O-O. O-O can say oo in tooth or in book. How about U? U, when it's a special sound, says as in push. How about O-U-L-D? O-U-L-D says ood in could. Okay, now let's look at the swim ring. Okay, let's start at the top with D-G-E. D-G-E says j in fudge. And do you remember that it has to come after a short vowel like a, e, I, Okay, then we have the soft sound of G, and it has to be followed by an E or an I or a Y, and that is J in giant. We have the soft sound of C, which says S, and it has to be followed by an E or an I or a Y. It has to have an E or an I or a Y after it. And the special sound is S in city. Okay, let's look over at the duck. Let's start at the top of his belly. The first special sound, O-U-G-H-T, is ought in thought. The next special sound is all in ball. The next special sound is alk in walk. And at the bottom of his belly, ought in caught. A-U-G-H-T this time. Okay, let's look at his feet. The first foot, A-U, says aw as in faucet. The next one, aw as in saw. And remember, the word isn't saw. I saw you at Walmart yesterday. There's no L at the end of that word, whether we're talking about seeing somebody or we're talking about sawing a piece of wood. No matter how you use that word, the word is saw, aw in saw, A-W. Okay, let's look at the pond now. These are the H brothers. The one at the top is S-H, sh in ship. Then in the middle of the pond is ch in church, C-H. Then at the edge of the pond is ch in patch, T-C-H. Do you remember what's special about T-C-H? It has to come after a short vowel. Atch, etch, itch, och, utch. Okay, then down at the bottom, we have TH, which can say th in thick or th in this. Okay, let's move on to the next page. Right before spring break, we learned how to add a suffix to a root word that ends already with a Y. Like in sleepy. Sleep is the root word. Sleepy is a new word, but if I want to say sleepier or sleepiest, then I have to, do you remember, change the Y to I before adding a suffix that begins with a vowel. So if I'm going to write sleepier, I would write S-L-E-E-P-I-E-R. If I'm going to write happiest, this is the happiest I have ever been, I'm going to write H-A-P-P-I-E-S-T. Okay, let's move on to pretty. Now, you can pause the video now and write on a piece of paper or a little dry erase board if you have one at home, or a chalkboard, whatever you have at home that you can use. I want you to change pretty to prettier. I think that flower is prettier than the other one. Prettier. Pause the video now. Okay, you should have spelled it P-R-E-T-T-I-E-R. Did you get it right? Good. Don't forget to change the Y to I if you're adding another suffix that begins with a vowel. Okay, how about cloudiest? Today is the cloudiest day of the week. Cloudiest. Okay, pause the video and write it. All right, how did you spell cloudiest? It should be C-L-O-U-D-I-E-S-T. Okay, good. Okay, you can do the same thing with the last three words, funny, heavy, and silly. Can you do these by yourself and have your parent check them instead of me? Okay, let's move on to the next page. We're going to review suffixes. Who remembers what a suffix is? We've written it in your journal, so if you need to, you can go back and look in your journal, or you could even journal it again. That might be fun. Okay, remember that a suffix is a letter or letters that we add to the end of a root word to make a new word. Okay, like ing in pointing. Can you think of another word that ends with ing like in pointing? Remember, if you can say the root word point and then add ing to it, you've got the correct sound. This one isn't ing like in king because point is a root word, and in ing and king, k isn't a root word. Okay, you think of other words. How about ed in wanted? Can you think of another word that has ed in wanted? Want, wanted. How about need, needed? Let's see if you can think of other words. Okay, how about t in looked? If you can think of a word that ends with a K, t in looked often comes at the end of a word that ends with K, like look, looked, or wish, wished. It doesn't always come at the end of a word with a K, but a lot of times it does. Okay, let's move on to d in played. Can you think of other words that end with d in played? How about prayed? Pray, prayed. If we add ed to the end of a word, remember, that means it already happened. If you played, that means you already did it. If you prayed, that means you already prayed. You've already done it. We've talked about that before. Okay, how about e in rainy? The root word is rain. Remember, this one is different than e in baby because rain is a root word. Babe isn't a root word. Okay, we can add e to the end of a lot of weather words like cloud, cloudy. You think of other words. How about in bigger? You can pause the video and think and try to think of another word that ends with as in bigger. like greener. The grass is greener in the spring than it is in the winter. How about est in biggest? Pause the video and see if you can think of a word that has est in biggest in it. How about lee in slowly? Pause the video and see if you can think of a word that has lee in slowly. Okay, let's move on to as in peaches. I can think of a word, teaches. Miss Radcliffe teaches us through the computer now. You pause the video and see if you can think of one. And the last one, N in sharpen. Now remember, it has to come after a whole word like sharp. So pen wouldn't work because p isn't a root word. All right. Let's write a few words. Okay, the first word that I want you to write then is going to be hen. Can you write the word hen for me? You can pause the video while you're writing. Okay, the next word I would like for you to write is quick. Can you write the word quick? Pause the video while you write. The next word I want you to write is hill. Write the word hill. Jack ran up the hill. Okay. The next word I want you to write is save. Please save your pencil. Save. The next word I want you to write is right. You need to turn right at the stop sign. Right. That's been one of our spelling words. Can you remember how to spell it? Remember, we have two different ways to spell right. Right like I write letters, and right like the direction, turn right, or that is the right thing to do. Pause the video and see if you can spell right. Okay, and the last word I want you to spell is worm. Worm. Do you remember the special sound? Were in worms. You can pause the video and write. Have your parent check these for you, or your grandparent, or whatever adult is with you. Okay? All right. Next week we will be on, or this week we'll be on spelling list 22, and here are the words, and they have E in baby, not E in rainy, because hap isn't a root word, prit isn't a root word, pin isn't a root word in this case, pup isn't really a root word, laid in lady isn't a root word, babe in baby isn't a root word, tine in tiny isn't a root word. Sorry that there's not a space between them, but on my PowerPoint presentation, for some reason, it took the space out. Then we're also going to be using words that have ul in little. Remember, it usually is after a double consonant. It has to have a consonant with it, with the special sound ul in little. Okay, so we have ul in little, we have puddle, we have saddle, we have bottle, we have middle, and we have Bible. Our two sight words are your and here. Your parents can help you log on to Spelling City to practice those words. And then about Thursday, you can go ahead and take the test on Spelling City and let me know how you scored. Okay, this is just a kind of a trial week. I am going to check in and see how everybody's doing. And if you have any problems or questions, your parents can message me. Okay, so that's the end of our phonics lesson for today. I hope y'all are all doing well, that you're not too stir crazy and bored. If you have any problems, have your parents let me know. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta play. I can see if it recorded.
Yeah, now to find where in the world it even is. On Zoom,
Did you save it?
I stopped it.
Okay.
Do I need to go up here? Manage, start the video, mute, more, chat, invite, pause, stop the recording, which I already,
Okay.
or stop the whole recording.